Morning. It's Catherine from Gauge Dyeworks. I'm just going to add Andrea Rangel. So Andrea and I are going to chat today about the August project from our club. Good morning.
Good
Good
morning.
morning. How are you?
I'm doing great. How about you?
Good. I was just halfway through saying we're going to talk about the August project from our club.
Excellent.
So we
Yes.
shipped out yarn, I think 2 Fridays ago, but it might be 3. That's how
Yeah,
that's how
I
these yeah.
have no idea, actually. I cannot recall.
That's how things are going.
Yeah.
But I know we've seen some people cast on. Um, I have everything again this month too. I have all the yarn and all the projects here. But maybe while I dig through and grab stuff, for people who haven't done the club, do you want to just give a quick little description of what you get every month?
Yeah, so when we do our summer clubs, we design a yarn and a pattern to go together. So for 3 months, we create, this year it was a pair of socks that had some color work, and a cowl and a pair of mitts. And so what you get each month, so this year it was June, July, and August. And each month you would get a skein of yarn and the pattern that was designed to go with that yarn. So we kind of have this very collaborative effort in which we go back and forth designing both the yarn and the pattern together. So I don't think it's something that I've seen anyone else do, where you really have like yarn and pattern that are very much designed to go together in ways that we find extremely clever and fun. Um, so August was our last club for 2024 for the summer club. And so that one went out, and I am quite excited to reveal and then see some knitters take on this, the August project. So do you want to go ahead and reveal?
Yeah, so this was the yarn. So there's a lot of blues, but just a little bit of some bright pinks and oranges. And when you split it into balls, there was one stripe in the middle to show you how to get two exactly matching.
Yeah.
But these are wound opposite. Oh, I have a cat trying to get into a bag beside me. Um,
Yes.
so these are actually the exact same yarn, but one is wound opposite the other. And then we turned them into
Mitts
mitts.
with a cool
Little,
chevron pattern.
yeah, beautiful chevron pattern. Oh, I have
That's
some type
interesting.
of, to put it right beside my face and then it'll stay in focus. There
There
we
we
go.
go.
But not only that, hold on. There is enough yarn to get 2 pairs of mitts. So
Yeah.
we named this rhododendron, and the idea is this one is the rhododendrons in bloom. So you have the flowers and the leaves, but then the sky in the background. So this is sort of rhododendrons in the spring, and this one is rhododendrons in the summer.
Yeah.
So that's our two, and we'll see. I think my hands are a little bit. Oh no, they work. So there
Ooh,
they are. And I think, as always, as a designer, you have to pick a very specific pattern. You can't give 1,000 modifications, but obviously these, you could make them longer, or you could kind of finish them off
as
to make them.
mittens if you wanted to.
And you
Yeah.
have 3 sizes, 4 sizes.
Ooh. I actually don't
Anyway, enough
remember.
sizes to
There are
cover a
multiple
good
sizes.
range
Yeah.
of hands.
Yeah. I think it was 3. But yeah, that project was very fun to think about how we could use all of the yarn and kind of give you a variety, because some people are really into lots of colors and rainbowy and all of that sort of thing. And we know that some folks would prefer like a little more subtle, so that we feel like the blues are like the more chill. So either it's your mood. On one day you feel more like laid back, and on another day you feel more colorful, or you have a bestie who's more colorful and you are more laid back, or like blues more, I guess. And so you can make a pair for yourself and then matching for your friend or another knit-worthy person. And
I'm just totally going to hijack the conversation.
Yay!
They are very cute, and they have to go in the other room now. Say hi.
Okay.
Because I looked over and there was a cat looking up with a ball of yarn in its mouth.
Very
So,
excited
excuse
for the
me.
yarn, no doubt. So the chevron pattern is just a 2-row repeat. So it's one that I feel like folks can really get into the rhythm of. I know people are kind of starting to get back. Oh, kitty. We're starting to get back into our fall responsibilities after summer. And so maybe you don't have like vacation knitting time. Maybe you just have 5 minutes in the evening in which you can pick up your knitting. And I think this project is really nice for that, because you can kind of just like do this pattern on repeat and pick it up whenever you need to, and then put it down again if you have need to do homework help or whatever else is going to maybe come up at this time of year. So yeah, I liked, actually, should we talk about the design process and kind of what we were thinking?
Yeah, I've got a bit of yarn I can show, and I think, like, I just want to, oh, man, this like,
that filter really likes to.
yeah, I don't know, this is just whatever the default Instagram put, but it obviously likes faces more than knits. Anyway, just showing some of the details there, but I think he said it was a two row repeat.
Yeah, exactly.
So once you've
2-row repeat.
got it, and it's also very quick to see if you've made a mistake or the stitches are over. You can kind of just see it right away. So it is a nice, for how fancy it looks, it's actually pretty straightforward.
Yeah.
But and it seems like our goal is to make them so that they are relatively simple to knit, but not boring. And so the end is just this sweet, relatively simple little project. But it took us like 6 very different tries to get there.
So different. We were planning on making a hat, actually. And the yarn was not in those short stripes. We had really big, chunky stripes. And we were thinking of making one of those doubled hats where you start at one crown, increase, work the hat body, and then decrease for the other crown, and then you pull it into each other. You might know this as like as old as Musselburgh, or we have a hat called Full Spectrum that's done this in that style. And so that was our plan. And we wanted to have some kind of stitch patterns that would give a floral feeling, but we didn't want 2 color works because we already had color work for the socks. So I played with lace, and I had like all these ideas for different textures and stitch patterns. And I just like, the more I tried, the more I felt like I was putting a cupcake on my head. It was just it did not go the way that either of us wanted it to go. And at one point there was just kind of this design block where I was like, this is not happening. I don't know what's going wrong with this design, but it's really not happening. And so we decided to just shift gears completely and try out mitts instead of a hat. And it was actually pretty quick after that, where instead of going quite so literal, I decided to go a little bit more abstract for the idea of the flowers and the leaves and that garden vibe. So like if you blur your eyes a little or squint your eyes a little, you can kind of get the feeling of the like wild florals and the sky kind of peeking through the branches and things like that, but without it being so literal. So that was my transition. And I think we did have to adjust the yarn a few times for the mitts. Do you want to talk about that?
Yeah. So we started out, so just because I have it in front of me, this was the yarn for maybe all of your hat attempts, and it's similar. We thought there would be like the colors of the flowers on one end and a bunch of greens, and then if you flip the hat inside out, it's more blue, so you'd get two very different looks. We had all these great ideas. And of course, the stripes would have been like maybe this wide on a hat.
Yeah.
So then when we went down to mitts, I did a very similar thing. We also decided because our first project for this club was very green, we decided that this was too much green.
Yeah.
Given that it's a bit of a mystery, you don't know exactly what you're getting, we thought variety was better. So for the mitts, we went back and did basically the same striping pattern. And Andrea knit up her first mitt, or at least her first section of mitt, and realized that the stripes were actually still wider than we wanted.
Yeah.
So because there's a few sizes, you want to make sure that it has the same general feel in the largest size and the smallest size. And so we didn't want, if the stripes are too wide, then on the smallest side, you just don't get that many colors, and it's more color blocked rather than just kind of flowy waves. But if the stripes are too narrow, then on the biggest size, the stripes might only be like 2 rows wide, and that can look a little bit jagged. If like here it's 2 and then here it's 3, you really notice. So we settled on whatever this is, which I feel like just has kind of a flowy look in all the sizes.
Yeah, and we tried, I'm pretty sure that I swatched, I don't have those swatches, but I swatched in all the sizes, and so that I could see exactly how many rows the stripes would be in every size, so that I would make sure that they gave the same feel. Like they're not going to be exactly the same, obviously, but you get the same vibe.
Yeah, and I also know we wanted to make sure these colors happened on all the mitts.
Yeah.
And then if you just get an extra stripe or 2 of the blue on the larger size, that's okay.
Right.
But we didn't want one mitt to be like just those colors. Right. And then the other ones have this whole other dimension to them.
Yeah, so we wanted everybody who was making it, regardless of the size, to have all the colors, because the colorful one is supposed to be colorful, and then if you get a little added blue, that's fine, and then you can the blue mitts have fewer different colors, so it was less important on the blue side. But yeah, I thought that was really fun that you get you can have 2 different styles of mitt from the same pattern in the same skein of yarn. And it also kept when we had the original hat idea, we had this like reversible, like 2-in-1 vibe that we really wanted for that particular project. The 2-in-1 thing was something that just kind of felt really fun to us for this project. So I'm glad that we got to keep that for the mitts. And who knows, maybe we will eventually come up with a floral inspired hat for another project, but it was not to be for this one.
Yeah. So, and I do feel like those are the advantages we have of working together, is that we can do things like figure out, well, I'd like, more of this color to be in this section. Can we move this up and down? But it's also makes things harder too, because you have to think about that.
Exactly. Yeah,
but
so it's fun for the end user because you as the knitter just get to knit. You don't have to like change colors or weave in your ends or anything like that. You don't have to think about, oh, I've done this many rows in this yarn, I need to switch to the other yarn or anything like that. It's like, we did so much trial and error. We made this for you as like something that would be really enjoyable to knit, as well as like a cool project when you're done. So those are our priorities, are to make it so that it's very fun to knit, very engaging, but not so complicated that you really have to like be completely focused or like advanced. So we want it to be approachable for everybody. And so we are very happy to share. Those are our 3 summer 2024 projects. Do you happen to have the cowl sitting there?
Do.
We could show all 3 projects.
Yeah, I will do a quick, so this it should stretch it out a little bit to really
get the effect.
Yeah, so there's, this is the June sock. So you just have that flower in bloom and a little stem that goes all the way down. I'm calling this grass. So you have the full flower on your foot. The July was a cowl.
Inspired by turkey tail mushrooms.
Mm-hmm.
So we have texture and stripes, and kind of going in multiple directions in order to kind of evoke that idea of the turkey tail mushrooms, but with more purple.
Yeah. And I have to say too, we saw on the Ravelry forum, one of our goals with these is that with any of the club projects is that it should be like fun to knit, but then in the end, people who see it will be like, "Oh wow, you're very talented."
Yes.
And it absolutely happened with someone brought the turkey tail to her knitting group and got tons of compliments for how she had combined the colors and all those ends she must have woven in. Um, which was great. That's like, that is what we are hoping for, is that you have fun and then the end result is something that really looks like a ton of effort went into it.
Yeah.
But I also feel like it's important, if people, as a knitter, if people ever give you these compliments, you just say thank you, I am very talented.
I am
Don't explain, don't explain that the yarn something, you just like, yes, I really am really great at this.
Although you can tell your friends, if you want to be this great, you can also sign up for this club next year.
That's true. You can say it was a collaboration with Andrea Rangel and Gage Dye Works, because it was. Yeah, so these were our first two. And then the third is these mitts. And so that is the full summer club right there.
Yeah.
Which,
and the way our clubs work is that they're exclusive to club members. So the yarn and the patterns are exclusive to club members for 1 year. So if you're watching this, you were not a club member and you're like, I love that, thank you, but you cannot get it until next summer. But if you sign up for our newsletters, we will tell you next summer when those things go live. And just a few weeks ago, we launched last summer's club. So the yarn and patterns for our last year's club, which was inspired by the ocean, those are available now. So if you are excited by our clubs, there are still lots of things you can get right now.
Yeah, and this seems like the perfect time to just mention, we do have a club plan, or I don't know if a collaboration planned for later this fall as a holiday celebration club.
Yes.
Or project, I shouldn't say. So the clubs, we don't tell you, like you sign up and it's a little bit of a mystery. For the celebration holiday project, it will not be a mystery.
Yes.
I think we've decided that ahead of time.
That's right. Yeah, we have created some yarn and pattern for you already for the fall, and we will be announcing that in our newsletters, and we'll be sharing what that looks like and what you can get. I think it's going to be extremely fun because we have different levels. If you just want yarn and pattern, or if you want a little something extra, we're going to have that option as well. So that will be a holiday celebration that you can enjoy for yourself or maybe give as a gift.
Yeah. Well, I think that is what we have to share today. Do you have anything? Am I missing anything?
I think that was it for our clubs. If you like what you see, like I said, sign up for our newsletters. You can see last year's clubs on my website, which links in profile. Same for Gage Dye Works. You can see the yarns from last year and some in October. What is it? Not pumpkin.
Oh, jack-o'-lantern.
Jack-o'-lantern, thank you. So you've got some jack-o'-lantern yarn. So if people are excited about the fall, there's jack-o'-lantern yarn as well. So lots of really cool stuff available on our website.
Alrighty, well, thanks to everyone who joined. And I guess we'll do this again next month.
Sounds good.
All right.
See ya.
Bye.